Alongside of Mike Dunn, I am Dave Reef. Welcome to Topeka, Kansas, where it's just been 5 days since we left Atlanta, but it still feels a lot like Atlanta, doesn't it?
Well, it's still raining anyway, but I'll tell you what, the track conditions seem to be much better here in Topeka. We saw some very challenging conditions, especially on Sunday in Atlanta. Monday was obviously better. Cars were getting down the racetrack. Doesn't seem to be the case here in Topeka. The track's always been very good. The first session cars came out, funny cars. They went down the track very, very well, including top fuel. So it's a little bit different racetrack here this weekend.
Now, but another one of the freedom that the U.S. countrymen give us is the right to an opinion. And Bob Vandergriff certainly had an opinion following his first round race here in Atlanta just a few days ago.
This incident's against Clay Millican, where he crossed the center line after he got the car completely sideways. He was dead late, said he couldn't see the tree when he hit the throttle after he heard Clay launch, then got the car rotated around, crossed that center line, automatic disqualification, giving the win to his nemesis, easy for me to say, Clay Millican.
An opinion is one thing, but Graham Light from the NHRA, the Senior Vice President of Racing Operations in the hat, said this was a little too much.
And I actually agree with Graham Light on this. NHRA has a history of allowing racers to voice their opinion, even if it's negative, against association when it's done through the media. But the fact that he got right up in there in his face is, I think, is what made them put the fine against Bob Vandergriff.
Couple abandoning his race car on the track, remaining and walking on an active track with that verbal confrontation with not only Graham Light but two other NHRA officials. Add it all up, it's a $20,000 fine as per the NHRA rulebook for Bob Vandergriff, who does have until May 29th if he'd like to appeal it. For more on that, here's John Kernan.
Well, Dave, Bob has already decided he is not going to appeal the penalty. But let's find out what led to getting fined $20,000. Bob, what made you so upset?
Well, I just don't feel that you can have an inconsistent policy on safety. You can't cancel a Friday night qualifying session and cite, poor track conditions and safety as the reason to do that, and then turn around on Sunday and put us on a racetrack that was nowhere near as in good a condition as Friday night and deem that raceable. It's just to suit someone's agenda. And then when to hear somebody after the fact, try and justify the position when there is no justification for it, and cite, Coca-Cola executives or the fans in attendance or our travel schedules as reasons to justify, none of those trump safety out here. And for them to try and do that, or for Graham to try and position that, it actually infuriates me to hear, those kind of things out here, because there's no way. There was crew chiefs that said we shouldn't be out there on there, and we shouldn't have been.
Let's just clarify, what was unsafe about the track in your opinion?
Well, when 10 cars smoke the tires and don't go 20 feet down there, there was no rubber on the racetrack. There was no tire smoke off the tires when we did burnouts. There was parts of the racetrack peeling back off as we backed up. Crew guys were scraping it off the tires. They were working on it after every pair went down there, and even took a break for 20 minutes after the third pair, I think it was. That pretty much tells you we have a problem and we should stop. There's no reason to push on at that point, and we continue to do it. My position was, why I stopped the race, was I didn't feel that if it was going to be if there was a crash, it was going to be when there was a crash. And if me getting fined potentially stopped that from happening, I'm fine with it.
Well, also, he's been getting a lot of support from the fans. They've been coming by the pits offering to help him pay that $20,000 fine. Now, for more on this issue, let's go to Gary Gerald.
Well, John, we know Graham Light is the Senior Vice President Racing Operations for the NHRA. Graham, can you tell us what were the considerations that had to be taken into consideration by the sanctioning body to arrive at the penalty for Bob Vandergriff?
Well, there was a few factors. One is you don't abandon your race car on the racetrack and just leave it. You don't walk back to the starting line and disrupt the racing. And most importantly, the verbal abuse of NHRA officials is not going to be tolerated.
Bob Vandergriff indicates that he felt, and I know he expressed it vividly to you, we saw that the track was not safe. Was the track safe in your mind?
Well, the track was certainly not in good conditions conducive to good side-by-side racing. The cars were going to smoke tires, and we see cars smoke tires at every race we go to, regardless of track conditions at times, and typically they don't crash on smoking the tires. It's other factors that cause cause that. So, we were comfortable certainly with the safety of the track and just the quality of the racing for the fans, for the television viewers, for the sponsors, and the fact that by smoking the tires that much was going to cause a lot of carnage, which is cost to the teams, and that's why we elected to just move it to the next day.
We were indicated that it was a $20,000 fine. Any other stipulations, probation, anything like that?
No, just a fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.